Hey everyone, Lego Master Cole here, once again with another video. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you all are ready for the Book of Boba Fett, December 29th. I couldn't be more excited. I really hope this series lives up to the name. Book of Boba Fett sounds so awesome. And for this year's collection video, instead of doing my entire collection, I decided just to focus on Boba Fett things. And when you know it, I have a whole room already dedicated to the man himself, Boba Fett, my favorite Star Wars character, and something I've just always loved to collect. I love collecting Boba Fett stuff, everything I can get of him. So these things you're seeing now are my costumes. So this is Empire Strikes Back Boba, of course, with the green gauntlets and the green jetpack and the more detailed, in my opinion, helmet, less weathered, but more symbols on it, and just more, especially on the ears. That's mostly what I'm talking about. But it is the helmet that I prefer. I love the ESB Boba Fett helmet, and I do think that the new Book of Boba Fett helmet does look more like ESB paint job, so really excited about that. I love the new jetpack with the blue and stuff. The costume has changed so much from what it used to be, though, and it does look like we'll be seeing the Return of the Jedi flight suit, as we saw it in one of the trailers. After he gets out of the Sarlacc, he's got it on still. It's all beat up, and he walks in just wearing that. Really cool. I'm so excited to see that. See how he ended up with his new look. And this is the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. The more weathered and colorful Boba Fett. The Rainbow Pack. Really cool jetpack, though. I mean, it's a classic. And I would say this is the more iconic EE3, even if it is the one. I kind of like the old one with the flash tube, but this one is just more iconic. Those ribs definitely look more, I don't know, Star Warsy, because the E11s have them. And this is my Han and Carbonite, which actually is cast off of Harrison Ford's face, but we're not here for Han. We're here for Boba. Then we got my work in progress. It's still not done, but that's the stage it's at now, which is my Holiday Fett jetpack. And this is not a fan-made item. This is actually from the Downtown Disney. My girlfriend got it for me, and it's so cool they're making Holiday Fett merch. Like, we hardly got Holiday Fett merch back in the day. Now we are getting so much merch, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video, is just how much Boba Fett merch is going to be coming out. Because Boba Fett was always a big part of collecting, being one of the most popular Star Wars action figures and characters. I am really worried for my wallet about how much Boba Fett stuff is going to be coming out. That actually is a Boba Fett item, even though it may not look like it on the outside. That's the mold that I use to make these two helmets. And that one in the middle is still a work in progress, but that's going to be the Mandalorian version, re-armored. And then I got this. May not look like Boba Fett either, but believe it or not, pretty much everything in this room is Boba Fett in some way. This is the towel, a replica of the towel that was used by the Super Trooper, which was the first version of Boba Fett, painted all white. He wears that towel as a cape, which is really cool. And this shirt, my girlfriend designed this based on the Robot Chicken appearance of Boba Fett. He has a t-shirt cannon, and the t-shirts he shoots say that. A very funny skit. If you haven't looked it up, definitely look up the Robot Chicken version of Boba Fett. More pieces for my Holiday Fett that I'm working on. This is the rifle made by Woodchuck. Love this thing. Got it assembled and painted, and it's just been sitting there waiting for me to get done with the costume so I can carry it around. And it also inspired the Mandalorian's rifle, very much so. So I love it. I would love to see Boba Fett get something like that in the Book of Boba Fett. And there's the rest of my Holiday Fett stuff I got to do the rest of the work on. Get a few more pieces and get that done. Really excited for that one. Man, I would love to just do every version of Boba Fett's costume, but there are so many variations. Especially if you count ones that are like concept art and things like Holiday Fett that appear in animated form. And these are just a bunch of like my loose Boba Fett collectibles. I got like a shelf of Slave 1 here. I'm always going to call it Slave 1. I know they're trying to call it like Boba Fett Starship or the Boba Fett Fire Spray. It's Slave 1. Come on, guys. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that term personally, because the name Slave 1 refers to the fact that Jango stole the ship from slavers. Like, the ship was a slave to them, basically, and he freed it. Like, that's just how it is. I think the name is awesome. Some art by Joe Caroni from Celebration. Got a stocking because it's Christmas Day. I'm filming this on Christmas Day. Then we got another piece by Woodchuck. It's the rifle that Nomad Boba Fett returns with. Beats up some of the stormtroopers with it. And then over here, on top here, we have like mostly carded stuff, or box things, as I say. And then these are mostly empty boxes. There's some things down here, of course, that are in the box and sitting loose around them. But I figured I'd show you guys. Try and show you a decent bit. It's hard to get everything in a video, like especially when I do a video of my whole collection. I kind of just have to go through it quickly. That's one reason why I want to do a Boba Fett only collection video. There's some shoes, like the ones Boba Fett wore when he came back. Some awesome pieces, custom pieces. I love fan-made pieces as well as like official stuff, so you'll see a mix of both in my collection. This poster, so cool, from Star Wars Celebration 5. Got Boba Fett busting through the wall. A cool tie. And I would say this room has about 85 to 90% of my Boba Fett stuff. And that's because a lot of my Boba Fett stuff is stuff I actually use. I wear a lot of Boba Fett merch. I mean, pretty much Boba Fett's a part of my life every day, you know? I have Boba Fett things that I just use on the day-to-day or wear. So anything Boba Fett I can find, I'll get. I'm just going to give you another slower look. Some of these are signed. This is signed by Jeremy Bullock. Rest in peace. It's just been like a little over a year since he passed away. He was such a kind guy. And I mean, honestly, I couldn't think of a more humble guy to have played Boba Fett originally. He's just so perfect for the role. And he really added that Western touch to it. And he did that himself. Like, he just really nailed the part. I don't know, like the way he moved and the way everything had purpose that he did. And it just amazes me how little details like that can just give a character that looks this cool so much more like mysteriousness, you know? It made you think there was more to him, even if we didn't see much of him back then. Here's another picture. I got signed by Jeremy Bullock myself. And I was wearing my Boba Fett armor when I got that one signed by him. Just really sad that he's gone now, but I do love Tamara Morrison, and I know he's going to bring that same kind of charisma to the role, and he just, you know, Jeremy and Tamara both love the character, you know, and that's one thing that I love about them. It's another signed Jeremy Bullock one. I didn't realize I had so many figures signed by him. I have a lot of Daniel Logans as well. Anytime I get the chance to meet someone that plays Boba, I always try to take take that opportunity. They're just my heroes. I love everyone that's played Boba. They all do such a good job. I need to meet Tamara Morrison one day. He's so awesome. I should have met him back in the day when it was a little easier probably, but now he's going to be a huge star. And I'm proud for him. He deserves it. If anyone deserves it, he does. I've been waiting for them to give him the chance to return back to the role. This is cool. It's a Gentle Giant. It's like a remake of the original Boba, and I do have not the Empire Strikes Back version, but the Return of the Jedi version, still carded. AFA graded. Here's my pin board. There's a little bit of clones on here. Clones and Boba, they go hand in hand. They're the same. Some really cool ones on there. Some Jango gauntlets down there. My Invicta watches. I love whenever high-end companies do Boba Fett merch. It's so random, especially back then. Now it's not so much because Boba's getting his little show. This helmet's also signed by Jeremy Bullock in the front there. This hat's signed by Jeremy Bullock. All right, now we're on to like one of my favorite displays I own. I kind of themed them, kind of. So this is my Super Trooper / concept art Boba Fett shelf, and then my girlfriend did this awesome art back here of him, and I figured the white really matches it well. I think that really rounds out the shelf. And believe it or not, most people probably think I'm crazy for saying this, but this may be my favorite look. It's the one I'm working on, Holiday Fett. I'm basing mine off the Hot Toys version. I don't know, I love these colors. It's nothing like we see Boba Fett in live action. It does look more like the toy with the blue, but I just love these colors. They just look so beautiful. It's one of my favorite figures, and I look at it all the time, just admiring the colors and the details on it. And I really like the animated version too. That rifle though, so beautiful. Even a pop figure. Here's another Gentle Giant statue of it. I love these animated maquettes. They are very cool. I don't know if Gentle Giant does things like that anymore. Here's some random little tidbits. A lot of these are from Greeblies that go on Boba Fett's armor, blaster, helmet, and gauntlet. That's where that little keypad goes. And then there's a piece inside of there that goes in the back of the helmet. So some custom-made coins, currency. Boba Fett needs his bounty, of course. There is the prototype or Super Trooper. And then I have two different versions of the Ralph McQuarrie / Joe Johnston concept helmets. And then there's the animated version of Holiday Fett, and then there's the realistic version of Holiday Fett, which is the one I'm going to use for the costume. But it's cool to see two different ones side by side. And then here is my Empire Strikes Back / pre-pro shelf. So we got the Hot Toys Deluxe that comes with the pre-pro with the J guys. Still need to get a helmet like that. That gauntlet is so cool. The yellow one with that swirly thing coming out, really nice. He's got like this nuclear symbol on his hand gloves, like a patch. Really cool. And it also came with all the Empire accessories, so I threw those in there just for fun. It's a really nice figure. I do love that one. We got the vintage Slave 1 with... I like the colors of the vintage Slave 1 because it looks more like a Slave 1 that the Super Trooper would use. So that's why I painted one of my extra vintage Fetts all white. Made him into a Super Trooper to kind of match the Slave 1. I like the way he looks with it. And we got my Hasbro and my Lego Slave 1 and Boba Fett helmets. Those helmets were just conveniently scaled similar, so I thought they looked good next to the Slave 1. I love my Slave 1s. And then down here we have Empire and Return of the Jedi helmets. And up here we got the Return of the Jedi shelf. With one Empire Strikes Back straggler. We see you. And this is the belt buckle Boba Fett wears in The Mandalorian. And then there he is, above the Sarlacc, where he rose from. We're going to find out, hopefully, how he gets out of there. I'm really excited. And all of us fans, even before The Mandalorian came out, knew Boba Fett was not going to go down that easy. And this room does have quite a bit of Jango as well, because I consider him to be the same as Boba. Boba's just carrying on his legacy. Jango and Zam. And I do think that Fennec very much so reflects Zam. I think they're very similar. So I think that's a good dynamic duo, just like Jango and Zam were. Especially if you played that old Bounty Hunter game. I think their story was really cool. And this is like a really cool like samurai Jango. Jango merch is harder to find. I'm hoping that will be changing once Boba becomes more prominent. And then this is like a custom one, but it was inspired by 1313, that unreleased video game. Really wish we saw that, and I think some of those concepts may carry over into Book of Boba Fett, even though it's taking place in the future, because in an interview they said it was going to do some time jumps. We'll see, but I do love that concept of Boba wearing some of Jango's armor. And this was a helmet I cast as well. It's cold casted. That's why it's got that shine to it. It's got some real metal powder mixed in, which is really cool. And then there's a Jango helmet, and here's that McQuarrie helmet again up close, or concept helmet. We don't know if it was Joe Johnston or McQuarrie. And some more Boba Fett goodness. For Christmas, we got to show a close-up of the Christmas Boba. Merry Christmas. Like a chibi-style Boba. And then Donald Duck Boba with a backwards rangefinder. Oh, my goodness. Then we have Boba Fett jumping out of the Sarlacc from Unleashed. Unfortunately, this cannot be how he escaped because his jetpack looks to be functioning and his rifle is still in one piece. So we know this was not how it's done. But it's still cool. We have some... I went to the filming location for when Boba Fett returns. I took some sand just because it's like a little memory of going there. Really cool. And then we have like a bookends. And then there we have the Disney Store, Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. One of my favorite statues. I love this thing. It's so neat. Makes Boba Fett looks like he's... not Boba Fett. The Carbonite looks like it's floating because it's attached to Boba's cape. Very clever how they did this. And I just... always love this piece. I'm so happy I own it. Now we'll go to the big boys on top. The Sideshow Premium Format Boba Fett. I think this is the first one they did. I really like this one. I think they did a good job. And it came with this little plaque that I have up here. And while I was mentioning this is not my only Boba Fett stuff, I do have more upstairs, such as my EFX helmet and a full Mythosaur skull over my fireplace as well. Just as an example of some of the other things that I don't actually wear that are Boba Fett too. Because I know I said like a lot of it was stuff I used. one of my nicest pieces I own is these Master Replicas Jango Fett blasters. Definitely some of the highest end props I've ever held in my hands, and I love them. And then I put the new Hallmark ornament in the middle because Boba Fett's the king now. He's the crime lord. He looks really good. I do love that chair that they put in Jabba's palace just for him. Not for Bib Fortuna, it was for him. The ESB premium format and the concept premium format, which came with, I don't know if this one came with both helmets. One of them does. I think I might have got the version that just comes with one helmet. But this is the helmet I would use anyways because it looks more different. This is like the one Reiko Hardeen uses. And this is actually probably one of my favorites, the Jango Fett one. I didn't show it enough, I feel like. I need to show it more. I love this one. This pose is so good. But yeah, and I just love taking a step back and just looking at the display all together. It's a really nice display. And I just think the colors, even though it's all one character basically, the colors are quite all over the place and they look really good together. And some last little bits. You got some like pillows and toys, plushes, and a blanket that recently came out. I was really happy to find a Boba Fett blanket. And these are not normally in this room. I brought them in here just to show them off because I was going to do an unboxing of these like I did with my EFX helmet, but I decided I would just show them in this video because they came in separately, and the jacket, the big jacket, I ended up getting later because my sister found it at Disney Springs. I passed on it originally, and then I kind of regretted it, and she was like, oh, I found one. I was like, perfect. So thank you, Cassie, for that. Then we have this hat here from Columbia. I'm wondering, this to me feels like the first wave of that new stuff. The stores haven't started hitting hard with that new stuff. Love the black kill stripe Boba Fett gets now. But that new stuff hasn't hit hard yet. But I'm wondering after Book of Boba Fett, how much Boba Fett merch is there going to be? Am I going to have enough space? What am I going to do? I also wonder, I love Boba Fett, and I think he's a fantastic character, but should he be a main character of a show? I've been like really contemplating that, and done right, I could see it being really cool. But I think Boba Fett works originally best as being that mysterious background character, but he's turned into something more, and I think it's time to give him the spotlight. So let's all hope Book of Boba Fett is really good. If not, you will see me doing like Patchy did in SpongeBob Lost episode, where he just rips off his SpongeBob boxers and throws all his Boba Fett or SpongeBob stuff down. I'll do that with Boba Fett. So, let's hope it's good. And until next time, may the Force be with you. If it's not good, you'll see me doing that in the next video. Goodbye.